Hey Sagittarius, how you doing? Let's find out. We're heading into new moon. I'm going to check the moon app and Stellarium app in just a moment to show you where we are in space right now. But I did splits in the cards to set them up to get some initial energies. So I'm going to go through those in just a moment, and then we'll get the feel of where we're going within the first minute. And then, of course, we'll do a full tarot read. So let's just see here, because I think what's interesting in my second favorite moon app here, so we're just a few days away when I'm recording this, 3.1 days away from a new moon. Now, they say it's going to be in Aquarius, but it's not going to be in Aquarius. I'm pretty sure it's not. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Right now, it's not anywhere near, but that's a few days from now. So we've got that energy manifesting, pulling something together. And here we have in Stellarium, look what's going on in your own constellation just at the tail end. Now Pluto's in there. The Stellarium doesn't show Pluto anymore. Well, if I type Pluto in, okay, it'll give me where those crosshairs are. Yes, that's where Pluto is right now. Your professional guides. Professional guides have been at the rear ass of Sagittarius for a while now. But look at this. What's so interesting? Look at that moon there, right? 3 days away. No. The moon travels. Will it get to Aquarius? That's where the sun is. And look at that sun and that Jupiter. Wow. Okay, so your triggers and instincts are in being in Aquarius. They're tied to your areas of nonconformity, all your extreme uniqueness, right? Things that made you happy in childhood, whether or not you had access to them, or denied them. There's a lot of stolen childhood energy in Aquarius. So Jupiter, of course, expansion. So with these two lining up somewhere around the new moon, and Jupiter ruling you, wow, Sagittarius. Mercury in Capricornus, just past the heart of Capricornus, so in the gut of Capricornus. So very brave time. Also the story you have to tell. What did I just click on here? Sorry to be triggering the app. Yes, Pluto. Thank you. Capricornus and Saturn. Saturn co-rule of Aquarius, but Saturn, your hopes, your fears, boundaries, and calculated risks. But a lot of good maternal energy there. So this Venus and Mars situation going on in your constellation, because Venus has been doing some hugely deep healing work for quite a while in your constellation, having gone retro in you, and already having started the work on people before she went retro, of course. But look how they're lined up here. On a par, Mars being, for me, your loves and loyalties, and Venus being your attractions, appetites, your needs, right? Okay, so there's, and then of course the female god, the male god, whatever your philosophy on that is. But right next to, passing right past what I understand from my astrology work to be your professional guides. So wherever Pluto is in your chart, I've put my ideas about how to get the most accurate chart. You'd have to actually get it, the final version of it, from me, or apply pencil marks to your own birth chart based on when the sun actually hits constellations, which makes for a very uneven zodiac, which is why the ones that you get from any other chart maker are going to be slightly inaccurate, because they're all even. Plus I add the Nakshatras, which you can do through the link that I put in my descriptions. So this new moon with these professional guides and this balance of the Venus and Mars energy, what will that bring you? Okay. And then one other thing before I get into your energy here is that I'm launching right now. I'm prepping up the next version of my Astrology Tarot journey, which we've just got your month to go. We're in finishing up Aries right now, and then we've gone through all of the signs. I've brought in the Nakshatras to that, the Vedic, and basically we go house by house, sign by sign, constellation by constellation, and we get very scientific about the whole thing. And then you figure out exactly who you are, who your guides are. It's actually a very interactive experience with your guides. There is research involved. It takes about 20 minutes a day for journaling, and a few hours a week for research and reflection and pulling things together, right? And we do photo diaries in there and stuff as well. So I'm going to run it through Patreon, I believe. It'd be about $10 a month if it takes off this year. Otherwise next year. I'll be keeping up with it anyway, but there's a whole video series of it. I've got 74 videos on it so far because I did it this past year. But I'll do a walkthrough of that book. At the end of this reading will go into 3 parts. So at the end of the 3rd part, there'll be about a half-hour walkthrough of the book if you're interested in that. Plus, I'll link to the intro video. Okay, so let me just take a moment here, clear up, and we'll get into these energies. Okay, so what's interesting is we have these 8 pentacles in reverse. But it might be a question of aspecting the way I'm going to have them laid out on the table. We'll see what other tarot cards come out. So either there's a interruption in work, something's interfering, because we do have a 3 of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of the deck when I split it. So there's possibly a conflict of interest has reached the end of the conflict, is quite possible, and it's affecting, one of these is affecting the other, right? And probably this conflict would be this is how I see this card. I'll try not to explain too much in the overview. It either resonates or it doesn't. What's interesting and beautiful down here in Lenormand is we have the fish. We've got plenty of opportunities here, and we have the clover. So now you could be into some deep magic with everything, with Celtic spirit guides. That is a possibility. This can often bring me some interesting trouble as much as it can bring me, you got to be careful about what you wish for with Irish luck here. But but this hit me as being very auspicious. With that, we have absolutely the King of Pentacles. So deep magic, deep magic. And we see that in the stars, in the astrology, in the planet placements right now. With that, we have the 34, which is just past the Master 33, and that gives us a 7 of transformation. So we'll see what kind of transformation. It might be a Pentacles transformation. It might be another one. But since we have the 6 of Pentacles with the clover, something's very... See, this takes me to the Capricorn energy. For me, this is 10th house energy, which has to do with the bigger story that you're here to tell in the 5D. The 6 of Pentacles for me is Virgo, which means something's very space-time sensitive. Everything about Virgo is specific to... Virgo's like a time lord, right? And that would be everything to do with mixing Earth with Mercury. With that, we have the 2. So there's a direction needing to be taken. Something like a fork in the road. And that's speaking to this situation as well. Okay. Now, in this deck, this is my Animal Spirit Guide deck that I only ever had as a playing deck long before I knew I'd be getting into tarot. And so, but I work with a lot of animals, and I have 3 parrots in my life through one of my clients, and I talk to them every Tuesday. I have strong ties to elephant placements in the Nakshatras, Ganesha, but memory, storytelling, and then of course there's the monarch butterfly, which is a signal for monarch mind control. So this deck has been very helpful through animal spirit guides in telling me if there are any issues with mind control, manipulation, memory being affected, perception being affected, right? So in this deck, we had 2 reversals. The same King of Pentacles. The same King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles twice. So that's very interesting. So somebody's being controlled in this direction, and we have the 2. We have the 2. So what's underneath? Your uniqueness. The lilies speak of how... I'm going to pause, and I'm going to double... When I set this up to get into the tarot, I'm going to double check. The meaning of this that stays with me is your uniqueness. The King of Swords. Yeah. Aquarius. Ooh, the cross to bear is over. I'm going to... Okay. All right. Because, and then over here, at the bottom of the deck... Or this was under the King. This was at the bottom. No, these flew out. These flew out. And we had the 4 of Pentacles in the upright. So there's stability here. There is stability. So it's interesting to see this controlling situation. So we're going to find out what the 2 means. So over here I have in the Aboriginal Spirit Oracle by Mel Brown. Mel Brown is the most powerful healer on the planet right now. I believe that very much. She's Aboriginal, living in what we'll call Australia. Her decks are, they never pull a punch. I also have Susan Shepherd's Phoenix cards here. So here we have basically messages from Mel's ancestors and through their connections. Well, and through God, of course. But we have Mother Goddess card came out again. She's bringing in a very strong presence right now. So there's that whole Venus thing happening. But here we have now I've gone through all of these cards personally, but I haven't had this one show up in a reading yet. Okay, so I'm gonna I'll check on that right now is what I'll do. And this is her. Susan passed just about a year ago, April 19th, leaving behind her daughter, who was 22 at the time. Let's just see here. What is that? And we have a 23. So 2 10s. 2 things are completed. A double completion, and there's that 3 again. That 3 again of manifesting, but a conflict of interest, possibly because we put it together. 23. So we have a 5 of necessary change. Of necessary change. And we are looking at, ooh, early Christian catacomb painting. Well, there's that cross in reverse. Okay. So we're heading towards sort of a Piscean energy here. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. There were 3 times in that year that Jesus could have been born. So she's picking the one that was March. Yeah, okay. It makes sense that they would murder him at the same time as he was born. And then, I mean, obviously, we know what Christmas is really all about. So, okay. All right. Well, then, that's where we're going. Very interesting. Okay. She does a planetary placement. We'll get into this later. I'll read for all the positions. I'll show you now. Right? And she's written out a paragraph for each card in each placement. So we'll get into that once we get through the tarot. But if there's something about that, there could be somebody coming through. And actually, now that I'm looking again at the divine doors over here, I have this blue door. Somebody has been coming through in a couple of readings here. So there's somebody again, either one of your family members or friends who passed. And often for me, this card is like this. There are 3 doors in this deck that are blue doors. And I have a lot of blue in my life because I work with murder victims. They come to me for help getting evidence and supporting their families and stuff. And they speak to me through this blue for years now. I've documented it heavily on this channel. So if somebody passed suddenly in your life or violently, even through violent illness, right? Then that person is speaking to you through this, or somebody's ancestor. Like I know a Sagittarius loves being attached to all kinds of people in the world. So it could be somebody from that space-time coming through. We'll find out. And then, so we'll do these 2 cards at the end. And we've got Kuan Yin as well, Wild Kuan Yin. And we'll get energy from her near the end. So I'm going to place this all up. Yeah, so an ending and a beginning, a death and a resurrection. Okay, well, Sagittarius, this is some drama, isn't it? Okay, hang on. Okay, so since this door was popping out at the bottom, let's get 2 more doors, because I like to get 3 normally. And they'll help. Okay. It gets even crazier. The 42, isn't it? Yep. 42, Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. What's the answer to life, the universe, and everything? 42. Now, either... Well, Uranus is definitely playing a part. This is part of an Uranus cycle. So here we go with that uniqueness again. 42 is half of an Uranus cycle. So if you look at what happened when you were 21, if you're past 42, then what happened when, or what's happening when you're 42, etc. Right? Multiples of 21. You could even take that in half, right? What happened when you were 10 and a half, right? And because an Uranus cycle is 84 years. So watch out for that tower. Okay, plus Douglas Adams says hi. My copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy went on a little quest. I ordered a copy years ago from a UK bookseller. No, it wasn't a first. I got a first edition of So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. I got a newer copy of Hitchhiker's Guide, and it came to me. It got lost for 6 months, and it came to me from Switzerland. I'd given up on it, and then all of a sudden it appeared, and I was like, that's perfect. I do a lot of writing that's similar. No, Sagittarius, no, we're not taking all these doors, but that's a definite message. You can't have 6 doors. Sagittarius. Okay, that's just an indicator that you might be in something of a the hub of a wheel, and you're trying to figure out which way to go. There we go. There we go. Oh, I don't think I've had these doors in a read yet. Fancy. Look at that. Those are not effective doors anymore. I mean, well, okay. All right, let's see here. They are clues, yes. Where are we going? Let's get close. Okay, so first off, I won't put them down. We have this. This is what was on top, okay? This is where we start. A note on love. Oh. Seek different seasons and enter into the unknown when love is the focus, foundation, and goal. Blessed is the body, mind, and soul. I know, you could say blessed, Kristen, blessed. Okay, so what focus on love? We will find out. And I know what this one's going to be. Secret sketches, wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Look for the ones who like you. So find your markets. Possibly. You know what? Nah, it doesn't even have to be. But then, well, the familiar and friendly kind are the people that you don't know too much about. Where, you know when you're out in the world and it is in the moment. There's no weight about how much we agree or disagree. That's what it's all about with Sagittarius. Yeah, you have your opinions, but as soon as you start actually telling your opinions to people, because Sagittarius is the one that understands everybody and hears them and agrees and looks at everything from their points of view, builds up your own point of view by being that able to consider everybody else's. And then we turn around and get specific about something, and then people get mad because we were supposed to keep agreeing with them. Draw memories and sketches for others to find. So if there's creative work or expressive work, it might not be, I don't want to be too specific, to drawing or pictures, right? But you'll know, we'll get there. And of course, so Uranus here, inner power. Yep, be your own, by your own command. You brought yourself here at this moment in life. You have nothing to fear. Let's say that's specific to this situation. I know that we know your chart is well beyond your control. Until you have it so well known to yourself that you know how to optimize and fight back. But this particular situation is something that you built. Look at those 8 of Pentacles. That was your investment. That's your blood, sweat, and tears. Sacred Lotus. Compassion in action, the chosen tool. I see now the lotus in your spirit's jewel. So something that's bigger than you. Okay, so we'll figure out where compassion is needed. But compassion, Mel makes an excellent point about compassion being wonderfully separate from sympathy and empathy. Where compassion helps you it brings in that professional ability to separate yourself, protect yourself, and decide what the situation needs, separate from how much you can identify with how the person's feeling and what they're going through, right? What does the situation require? All right, so let's get some more tarot going here. I've got everything laid out, so for reference points. Cards might fall in certain directions that will give us a better indicator. We'll find out. Let's set these up and we'll bring them into the story once we've got the story laid out. Sometimes I put these cards over to this side and put these cards here. And that's how I started, but then I switched them up because I thought, no. Feel the emphasis is probably figuring out we want affirmation. I feel like there's a need for affirmation. There, okay. You don't really need me to shuffle the cards. They know exactly which cards they want. I work for Kali, especially because she showed up in my living room October 2019, standing over me. And I thought she was a demon for 8 months. She scared the shit out of me. And yeah, anyway, there's a whole story to that. I'll put it in my about information or something. But, okay. We don't need to talk about me right now. We need to talk about you. But I just wanted to identify one of the primary energies. I grew up 26 years in different churches, and I would totally separate church from Jesus. Still love, like, Jesus is the one who cleared my head. Stop judging by appearances and start judging by what's right, as John credited him with saying, or whoever wrote John credits him with saying. So never had a problem with God ever since childhood. God and I have always been tight. It's just a matter of getting clear on who's God. And sorry, but the Masons and a whole bunch of esoteric stuff has been way involved with Christianity and Judaism right from the get-go. So in order to really understand, we have to understand the African prophetesses who ruled the Mediterranean for 6,000 years. And we have to go east as well, of course. Okay, now, Sagittarius. I'm just going to pan the camera for a moment here. Might get a little bright. Yeah? That's what you did. That's what you did. That's a nice trick. That's one thing they do with me. They do card tricks. Okay. That got a little... Now I'm going to take it exactly as it is. There, I feel, is a double-edged sword here. I'm just going to say that. Since it fell in the vertical, that's why they put it there. It was so it would stay on edge. Okay, let me think about this for a moment. Not think, but let me process with them. Look how it's facing backwards, and it's facing towards this situation. It's not facing forward necessarily. So we're reflective, we're looking back on this. We are also squaring off with it because we are perpendicular to it. So they're squaring off with what? When things square, that means there's friction and there's progress, there's movement, which is good. Something could be stuck. Okay. Come on. Oh. Okay. So, shit. Well, yeah. There is a double-edged sword. Okay, we've got all these betrayals. Yes, we do have Aquarius energy. So that King of Swords. Right there. Okay. All that uniqueness. All of that, everything that is you. That took the hit. Okay, you took a hit. Hit after hit after hit after hit. Bigger picture. This is also the card of the South Node. The South Node happens, it falls, let's say, look back at when you were 18, multiples of 18, 36. There are opportunities to get away from a thing. South Node. Your comfort zone as well. North Node being the opportunity towards something. So it's like we're on one side of the portal. There's this opportunity to go. Right? Or the clear indication to go because the thing's over. It's squaring off with this though. So, and it was facing, right? So like I've said, that's why I talk ahead of time so that the card can affirm what I'm saying. So we are in the process of now where to go to. That's what I was saying, affirmation. Okay. There is stability here. But yeah, this control of this direction. Okay, so the direction was being controlled. That's what this Two of Pentacles is about. Oh, almost coming out. Nice. Sagittarius, they really like playing with you. They really like... Let's see here. Okay, now it's connecting to this situation. It's aspecting in a way. And see how they're getting it to be like it could have flipped face up. So they're wanting you to take time. So the reflecting is good. So maybe maybe you haven't been reflecting and they want you to reflect. They want you to, if you haven't been pausing to reflect, then pause to reflect. Because there's something, the reason why is when you reflect, then you find and make notes, journal it, okay? Do a timeline. Look at what happened when and where, on what dates, as much as you can. I mean, I realize you only have so much time to do this, but there's something in there that needs to be captured, figured out. There's a key to something. There's an aha moment that's huge. Some sort of justice. There's something you need to take from that. See how it is. It's not near upright. It needs, it takes some figuring out. You want it, you want a clear exit, yes. You want it in the upright. You want it over with in the reverse. And here it is either way in process. So however you want that card to be, if you want it in reverse, either way, we have that necessary change. Interesting that we have the 34 at one end and the 36 at the other end. Hovering around a lot of master energy. And we have a 9 of proving yourself to everyone. The 30 in between. But again with that 3. This is what the 5 was. Okay. Eight minus 3 equals 5. And we have the swords. So for me, this is Libra energy. So 7th house energy. We have that Venus. We have that Venus energy. So that is interesting. Okay. It's because that sun is right next to Jupiter in Aquarius. That wheel, because Jupiter's the wheel, right? No, it's all of it. It's all of it. What do we have? That new moon. Well, that is there's hesitancy. Yes. Okay. It's in the same position. Feel like, is it reinforcing? Whoa. Well, here's our major arcana. Now, where was Mercury? Mercury is in, yep, Capricornus. In the gut. In the gut of it. So all of this control that you've been under. Time sensitive. Time sensitive. Space-time sensitive. There's a thing that you have to do. Okay, that's more like it. Why the hesitancy? I mean, well, because it's a big thing, isn't it? Okay. Look at all, I mean, okay. Here it is. So clock is ticking. There's time. There's time. But the wheel is turning. The wheel is turning. There's time. God. This is you. This is in charge. Like, this is your, okay, Jupiter cycles. Ages 12, 24, 36, 48, etc. 60, 72, 72, 80. There we go with the, okay. But this is also co-ruler of Pisces. So we've got the Neptune and Jupiter working together. So this whole, we're talking resurrection. It's different from the death energies. I mean, I know Scorpio energy is all about death and resurrection. Yes, bringing death to life. But this is the knowing ahead of time. No, Scorpio knows ahead of time. Okay, where are we going? One more. That double-edged sword, though. Okay. So that'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up with the tarot for that.